Sadly, as cute as the cat is, you're not taking this thing home with you. You just can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. You are, with rent and bills to pay for, not to mention you need to buy food to survive too. There's no way you could care for a cat long term, right? You could barely afford this little outing on your day off. And what to do? You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up on having someone look after it if you're not willing to commit. What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? You'll never get away from it then. Sorry. See you around, I guess. You stand up, the cat watching your every move. You make it halfway out of the alley when the cat meows almost pitifully at you. Nope. You need to nip this in the bud and get on with your day. It's what's best for both of you. You leave the alley and continue on your way. Wait, what was I doing? In all the excitement of dealing with your furry dilemma, you'd forgotten that you still hadn't decided on what you were going to do for your day off. I think It's been a while since a film came out that looked interesting enough for you to drag yourself into a movie theater. But there's a showing of one such film at the old theater. The movie was a little too niche to be picked up at the new cinema that opened right across the street. That's okay though. You're not exactly a fan of the crowds. And nothing ruins the experience of watching a new movie for you than a noisy audience. You eagerly buy your ticket from the kind old man in the booth and head inside. It's barren of any trace of other people, and the decor looks like it hasn't been changed since the 80s. Maybe even the 70s. But it's what you were counting on. You consider buying some popcorn, but can't help but be concerned that everything at the concession stand might be expired. You move on and walk through the halls, finally locating the theater designated on your ticket stub. As expected, the theater your movie will be playing in is completely empty. Perfect. You pick a spot right in the middle, even counting the seats and taking into consideration the gap of the staircase. As you settle in, the dim lights fade away, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds. Before the screen flickers on. No commercials or trailer pop-ups. The movie just begins. Pleased, you shrug and let yourself get immersed in the opening scene. But just as you're getting into the premise, the doors open behind you, momentarily casting light into the room and ruining the atmosphere. You hold in a frustrated sigh. It's a public establishment after all. The place can't exactly afford to stay open if you're the only customer. You try to refocus on the movie, but you sense the new presence slowly shifting around the theater. Before heading in your general direction. What? You gape in utter disbelief as the stranger shuffles down the aisle only to sit right in front of you. There's no one else here and plenty of places to sit. The stranger is also unusually tall. Even with the stadium like arrangement of the seats being on a somewhat steep incline, they're completely blocking your view. You don't want to risk escalating the situation further. The whole thing is already making you uneasy. Why would they choose to sit right in front of you? Surely they know you wouldn't be able to see past them. Shaking your head with a passive aggressive scoff in the stranger's direction, you reluctantly pick another less perfect seat in the theater. But as you settle down, you see the stranger get up, only to once again sit down in the seat directly in front of you. You look around somewhat helplessly, as if waiting for someone to silently agree with you about how odd all of this is, or at least inform you that it's all an elaborate prank. But there's no one else here with you. That's how you've always liked it, but you can't help but think that maybe it would be nice to have someone else here if it meant not being alone with this weird jerk. You hate confrontation, you can already feel your palms starting to sweat at the idea of it, and your throat's closing up and your body's starting to shake. You've always been more of a flighter than a fighter, but you paid for this ticket. Wanted to watch this movie for ages, and now this total stranger has ruined the entire experience for you. You're all alone in this theater. There's no one who will help you if something goes wrong. But you're angry enough that you ignore the signs of your body begging you to put it as much distance as you can between yourself and the stranger. You stand up, even standing and higher up on the incline, the stranger is still at least a head taller than you. The movie continues to play in the background, but you feel as if a hush immediately falls heavily over the theater at your movement. As if you can sense the stranger anticipating what you plan to do next. You square your shoulders and force a little bass into your voice. Hey! The effort makes your words come out more harshly than you intended, like a sudden and vicious bark. But you figure they deserve it anyway. You're being a real jerk. You know that? Just what are you playing at, huh? Are you trying to piss me off? The silence that follows your words is deafening. So much so that you glance at the screen only to find that the movie has paused? What? Your attention is ripped back to the stranger in front of you as they shift slightly. Like a small animal trying to desperately anticipate the moves of a predator. You don't move an inch. You don't look away. You don't dare to blink. Instead, your eyes widen as the person's head turns, then turns some more, and turns more beyond what should be possible, neck bones cracking to face you directly. Uh, you can't move. Wide glowing eyes resting above a wider, grinning mouth gaze down at you. The stranger opens their mouth, and what comes out is something impossible to comprehend. The voice is endlessly deep and creaks like a weighty door, foreboding and oddly melodic, alluring. But it also snaps you out of your terrified trance, and before you know it, you're already out of the door. You run through the halls of the empty theater, heading for the exit. You feel something watching you from behind, but you're too afraid to look. The exit's now in sight. You sprint forward and burst through the doors. You look around frantically and spot the crowded cinema across the street. People! That's what you need. Safety in numbers and all that. Without thinking, you rush into the street with a sinking sensation crawls down your spine, compelling you to look behind you. Don't look behind you. Don't look behind you. Don't look. Despite your resistance, you feel your head turning to look back of its own accord. While in the middle of the street, you catch a glimpse of a grotesque looking person standing behind the glass door of the old theater, watching you intensely, cradling something, their arms, something familiar. But, huh? Ah! A glimpse is all you get as a truck speeds forward and crashes into your body. You're killed on impact, your body splattered across the road and crushed further under the heavy tires. Ending 16. Poor screening arrangements.